When it comes to coaching your clients, what coaching technique is most effective for helping them get results? This is something a lot of coaches are wondering about. We're always wanting to be a better coach, right? We're always wanting to be most effective, help our clients get the best results. We want to make sure we're doing it right. And a lot of us, can sometimes undercharge or maybe not be charging the prices that we want because we have some uncertainty around this. And I want to talk a bit about this. I want to talk a bit about, I've been coaching for 9 years, like really what I've discovered through being in the coaching industry for 9 years as far as techniques and what works best when it comes to helping your clients get amazing results in their life. So I had a client recently that was asking me, one of my clients asking me a question about working with her client. And she was working with a client who had been yo-yo dieting in the past. I think maybe had struggled with like emotional eating or, certain eating issues. And she was trying to help this client and give her some advice and was suggesting that this client add in more carbohydrates into her diet. And she said the client had a lot of resistance to this, and she was just wondering, how do I best handle this situation? And I do get a lot of questions around this. And I do get a lot of questions around, what do you do if your clients aren't following through or they're not doing the things that you suggest? And I want to really just kind of share what I have learned as far as what works best in my experience when it comes to coaching. And this really comes down to the fact that your way of coaching is the best way. I don't believe in getting really caught up in following certain techniques when it comes to coaching. I think it can be great to do some coach training and learn different techniques, but I think ultimately you will come up with your own technique that may be a mix of a bunch of different things that you have learned that are going to best help your client. So I've done various coach trainings in the past, and a lot of them were really like, you need to do it this way, and kind of teaching you these very specific techniques to follow. And what I discovered for myself is that when I am trying to follow someone else's technique of working with someone, that I get more caught up in doing it right than being present with my client and really listening to what it is that they are saying. And so I do think that this piece is the most important piece out of anything you do, is being present and allowing your client to be seen and heard. And instead of being distracted and being worried about like doing it right, or what am I going to tell them, or what am I going to say, what if I don't have the right answer, like being all up in your head, that just being present with the client and really listening to them is the most important thing that you can do. And when you do this, you will be guided in how to best coach this person when you just listen to your intuition and really listen to that person, as opposed to being caught up in like, I have to do it in this specific way and follow this technique to help this person. Okay. And really recognizing that coaching is a partnership between you and your client, and that one of the biggest responsibilities, I would say, or the biggest things that you want to do to be a powerful coach is to empower your clients. And it isn't about you thinking that you know best or telling them what to do, okay? It's really a partnership of you guys deciding together. And I'm going to talk a bit more about this, but and how to do this, one of the biggest things is to let go of judgment. And so a lot of times we don't recognize that we are being judgmental of our clients, but we are maybe judging. So for example, even in this scenario, judging the fact that this person isn't eating carbs and thinking that they should be, okay? Because if we can let go of thinking that we know best for our client or thinking that they have to do things in a certain way, this is really going to help us be open to finding what is going to actually work best for our client, because it may not necessarily be what has worked best for us, okay? When we can think about the fact that there are so many different diets, right? Or different ways of eating and, beliefs around this, there isn't one right way. There isn't one right way of eating, because if there was, we'd all be doing it the same way. But what ends up happening is different things work better for different people. And so I want you to take this concept into your coaching as well and not get caught up that there's one right way to do anything. Different things work for different people. And this is why we want to have a partnership with our clients as far as helping them figure out what is going to work best for them. Okay. This piece is huge, and it's going to really help you be the most powerful coach, because you become an advocate with your client. And once again, it becomes that partnership as opposed to one or the other, either it being all on the client. So a lot of people who learn like motivational interview or like motivational interviewing, not that I have anything against it, I've never necessarily like learned this technique, but a lot of my clients are like, you can't give, they think they can't give their clients like any advice or any help. And it's just kind of like, what do you think you should do? What do you think you should do? What do you think about this? And I think some of that is helpful for sure, but I don't think you have to be afraid of helping your client come up with a plan and maybe offering suggestions or advice. So I think it's a really nice combination of those two. As a coach, can be really most helpful to your client. So one of the biggest things that you want to help your client with is just awareness around specifically things around their mindset, what they're thinking, certain stories that they have, certain limiting beliefs that they have, and maybe certain habits that they have that are not serving them and getting the results that they want. So this is another huge part as far as being a really good coach, just bringing this awareness to your client. And so as a coach, we can a lot of times, we have a different perspective than our clients do because they're in it, they're living it, they're so closely into the experience every day that as a coach, we can step back and see what is going on for them from outside of the situation. And so you want to help give your client this awareness around what is going on for them, because every change starts with awareness of what isn't serving you and what you can do differently to get the results that you want, okay? So the awareness piece is huge, and you want to share this with your clients. And then the next step that you can do is really around teaching and informing the client on what they need to know to get the results they want. So once again, if your client is wanting to let's say like lose weight or get healthy, like teaching them the information that they need, the knowledge that is going to best help them make the choices that would serve them in getting the results, okay? So this is kind of teaching them a little bit around like why you would want to be making these changes, because once again, the awareness is going to help them understand. And this really comes down to all of our changes. Ultimately, it does happen around awareness and changing mindset and all that stuff too. But taking action is essential. So we aren't going to get big changes in our life unless we actually take different actions. So different actions lead to different results. And so we want to make sure that we're empowering our clients and helping them decide what actions they're going to be taking to help them achieve their goals and get the results they want. And so this is really where you want to be working with your client to decide what actions they are going to be taking. And you can let your client decide based off after they're aware and you've taught them what they needed to know. Let them decide what actions they're going to be taking or help them with this process. If they do need a little help, you can assist them and help them decide like, okay, what actions am I going to be taking this week? But you want it to be the client's decision and you want them to be on board with it and you want it to feel good for your client as opposed to forcing them to do things that they don't want to do. Okay, so this could kind of go back to the client who was suggesting that they added more carbs into their diet. It becomes a bit tricky because you want it to be the client's decision as opposed to you telling them to do it. Okay, so this maybe means you want to educate them more on it, or maybe you need to come up with a different action step that feels good for the client and feels like something they are ready to do. Okay. And this really comes down to the client liking the reason why they are taking this action or making this new decision to take this action, okay? So if the client doesn't like it and it doesn't feel good to them, it's not going to serve them. So you want to work with them in taking actions that are going to feel good to them and that they understand and that they are aware of and they're like, yes, I want to do this, as opposed to you like forcing them to do something, okay? Let me know if that makes sense in the comments, but this makes a huge difference because once again, we are empowering our clients. So we want it to be their decision. They're doing things that they want to do because they want the result, right? The other thing that I think is really important to understand when it comes to helping people make changes is that there's been studies that show that different people make changes in different ways. And some people are more of like all or nothing kind of works better for them versus someone who's kind of like in the middle and they like to have things like a little less extreme. And we've kind of been made to believe that all or nothing thinking is bad, which I think to an extent it is. But you can also recognize that some people make changes faster and they want to do it all in. And some people need to go really slow and kind of like baby steps. And just recognizing that different people are different and they like to do things in different ways. And that is okay. So for example, just to kind of give an illustration when it comes to eating, let's say someone is trying to cut out sugar from their diet. There's some people who would do better with just like totally cutting it out and not having any sugar. And there's some people who would do better with having a little bit of sugar and adding in some of those, things that they really want. And just different people do better with different ways of doing things. So once again, don't get so caught up in like, I did it this way and everyone has to do it this way. Be willing to work with your client and helping them figure out what's going to work best with them, for them. So once again, partnership. You're their advocate, you're empowering them. You're not telling them what to do, but you can help them with that process, okay? So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know, does this help? And what did you find most helpful when it comes to really being a powerful coach and helping your clients get the best results? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this one. And if you want to dive a bit deeper into the steps to building a thriving coaching business in a way that feels authentic and aligned for you, I have a free training on that I will link below this video. I want to thank you so much for joining me this week, and I will see you next time.